Hey everyone, Lauren from the Cotton Patch here, and this is the June Block of the Month recap. We're back at it again this month, so sorry I missed it last month. I had a bit of a schedule conflict, but we're back on track now today. So we have a ton of stuff that has come in and a lot of news about things, so I'm going to just go ahead and dive right into it. So, first up, we have these poured color charm packs. It is the entire line. Here you can see the entire line on the back. We actually have had the entire line on the bolt for a couple months now. As I'll talk about here in a little bit, a lot of the shipping is delayed, back ordered, wonky, all that still from last year. So this is evidence of that. But we have your charm squares here, 2.5-inch strips here. I'm gonna move this a little bit. I don't have my handy dandy cameraman, so we're just gonna kind of struggle along a little bit. But we have your 2.5-inch squares there, poured color again here in your 10-inch squares. And then if you've been in here in the last few months, then you know we have the entire line of Cotton Shot by Amanda Murphy, and so Benartex, excuse me. And so we do have the 10-inch squares there. And what's cool about Benartex and what I really love is that they are showing you all the colors on the back here so that your charm packs and your layer cakes stay nice and fuzz free. So that's really great. We also just finished up the complete line of Deco Stitch. You'll remember a few months ago I showed the first few colors that we got in. We do now have the entire line in store. This is from Art Gallery, and you see it's got that wonderful kind of stitched texture here, but we got this blue. I really like this one. On the camera, it's showing up a little bit more gray than it is, but it's a really pretty light kind of mauve-y color. Mauve, whatever. This turquoise here, I love this, and I've already used it a bunch, is this nice kind of wine red. It's a little less bright red than it's showing up in the... sorry. I had visitors peeping in my window here, but it's showing up more red here on film than it is. It's much darker, kind of. And I'm not a wine person, but I don't know, maybe Merlot, whatever the dark one is. I don't remember. I don't drink wine. We've got this kind of light sea glass color, this kind of blushy pink, and this kind of springy green. But that finishes out the Deco Stitch line. It has been a wonderful basic. It works so well with a variety of styles. It doesn't have to be modern. It works really well with traditional as well. But look for that in store, the whole line. So after a few 90+ degree days, it feels very weird to be talking about flannel and winter, but here we are. This is the quilt world, right? So we got this flannel in from Dear Stella, and forgive me, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. I'll get the name of it here right quick. Maybe Dear Stella. It doesn't have its name on it, but it's Dear Stella. Oops, upside down. Oops, still upside down. Third time's a charm. It's kind of this nice, kind of wintry, outdoorsy log cabin, little bears, cute little flannel here. It's got a really nice, thick, soft hand, so it is a nice quality here. I love this polar bear piece. You can see the details kind of there in its little hiney with the stars and everything. I don't know if I can get a little closer, maybe. Out of focus. Well, you'll have to just see it in person. This is a really neat one from Dear Stella. So yes, we are already thinking about flannel and winter and cozy things, despite it being 95 degrees outside, although today's not too bad. So a lot of you know that we carry fossil fern from Benertex as one of our staples. We always have it in store in some capacity, but we are progressively getting more and more of it and replenishing some of our old stock. But we did get another run of it here. Nice little purple. This one has, interestingly, been the color that we've had to replenish and restock the most, and it tends to go out the door the fastest. This one is called Charred Wood. The camera's picking up a little bit more green in here than it actually has, but it's a really beautiful, deep, rich brown with just a little bit of taupe in it, where you're kind of seeing that greenish. It's more of a taupe. But that one is a popular one. And it goes well with a lot of different stuff. So here's another one. This one is just gorgeous. I want to get some of this too. I don't know what I'll use it for, but I'll figure out something. We have this lovely rich brown. Looks a little more orange on camera than it really is, but it is a lovely one. Another kind of turquoisey, sea glassy color. And this one has been real popular for backgrounds. That's not a stain. That's actually part of the print there. It's got just a little bit of that kind of caramel color running through it too. So last time we talked about wovens. And so I told you about the warp and weft that we got in the brights. So now we have warp and weft, and this is their kind of winter Christmas run. And so again, these are all wovens. And just to remind folks too, there's sometimes a little bit of anxiety about working with wovens and getting things on grain and everything else, and mixing it with regular cottons or batiks or flannels or what have you. But if you are looking to piece with a woven and you're feeling a little bit nervous, because I mean these are a looser weave, that's why they're called wovens, but they are a little bit looser. Just use some starch. I use, what is it called? I steal it from John when he's pressing his uniforms. Faultless, I think is what it's called. Mom uses the Niagara. This is the starch that you just get in the grocery store there in the laundry section. But this has a good, strong hold. And so it's really, really great for working with these wovens. So when you're pressing these guys, before you cut, starch them. Both sides, front and back, which you can't really tell the difference between the two, but starch them, cut them. It makes a world of difference in incorporating those with other fabrics. And as a matter of fact, and I wish I would have brought it with me today, but I forgot it as I was in a hurry out this morning. I recently did a quilt that incorporates just a regular cotton background, and it showcases the wovens. And I'll tell you what, with a little bit of starch, it sewed up a dream. I had no issues with stretching, warping, none of that, and it quilted up beautifully. And actually, I used a woven as a binding. So these are really, really versatile. So don't be afraid to use those wovens in your quilts with other things. But also, if you're looking for an alternative to flannel for a backing, wovens are also a really good choice for that. They wash up so soft and give just a little bit of added warmth, more than just a regular plain old cotton does, but it's not as heavy as a flannel. So think about that as an alternative backing there. And I love this turquoise. This is so pretty. More. These ones have already been really popular. And maybe it walked out already. As a matter of fact, it did. I've got a black and white one that has been really popular today. I've cut it several times already. That's part of this. I love this red and green one. That's a cool one. But these have been real popular so far. And I think it's really unique how they incorporated the blue, this kind of darker blue in with everything. This one's a neat one. It's showing up a little bit more pinkish than it is, but I love that shot of blue in there with the red. And, just because this is kind of a wintry Christmas line, think about incorporating these in with your patriotic prints. This would be great in an Americana style quilt, summery kind of quilt. We're still going. I've got a big fat stack of fabric here, so hold on to your butts. Right now, I've got batiks from Benertex. We just got some kind of neat summery vibes here. This one makes me think of Miami Vice. I don't know why, but it's probably these colors. But we got our little palm trees. We got some kind of hibiscus, tropical flowers going here. And this has been the popular one, interestingly. People love turtles. And so this one I've cut a bunch today too. So this one is going fast. If you like the turtles and you want that kind of sea animal tropical vibes, you'll want to come and grab this one pretty quick here because it is moving fast. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Next up is another Christmas line, and boy, I am just ill prepared, aren't I? This is from Deborah Edwards at Northcott, but the name is cut off. So I'll get the name here in just a second. We got this candy cane stripe. This just screams binding to me, and that's probably what I will use it for, but you could use it for a lot of different stuff. We kind of got this pine. It's not showing up all that great. There we go. It's kind of these little pine branches on red. And we've got these holly leaves here. This one's a real pretty one. I like that one a lot. Oh, this is called Here Comes Santa. Sorry, Here Comes Santa from Northcott. Got these little candy canes and holly leaves there. Another little pine leaf print. Trying to get that to focus. Yeah, there we go. And then this stripe that kind of pulls it all together there. It's just a kind of a real light gray there. This is showing up a little bit more creamish than it actually is, but it's more of kind of a grayish white. Okay, next up. Oh boy, this is a big one. So you know we love our blenders, and so we went in and got some shadow blush here. This is just a really subtle. Sorry, these are wrinkled because we had class this morning. We plopped them in a pile, and I'll be honest, I didn't press them before this, so sorry about that. It's a very, very subtle mottled blushy. Well, blush is actually very accurate. There's not a huge amount of contrast in these guys, but when you see them in person, you'll see what I mean. It's like somebody's taken like a blush brush and just kind of rubbed the color on there. It's just very, very soft, very subtle. So this is a great option if you want just a little bit of tonal texture, but you really don't want one of the more higher contrast blenders like maybe Fossil Fern, but you want a little bit more than a solid. Shadow blush is going to be great for that. And some of these colors are just, boy, that's wrinkly. But some of these colors are just great. This yellow is wonderful. This kind of purpley blue. It looks more purple in person than blue, but it's showing up real blue on the camera. And here's the more blue one. This one just, it's gorgeous. I see this. It's not quite as dark as it's showing on camera, but this almost looks like one of those really crisp fall days. The sky, the way it gets, that's what that reminds me of. There's this kind of nice manila beigey color. Another sea glass. A wonderful dark hunter green, and you know those can be tricky, especially when they're cooler tone, but we've got it here. This beautiful kind of emeraldy turquoise. This looks, sorry, that's my chair squeaking, I promise. Kind of a more grayed out blue. It's showing more bright on the camera, but it's definitely got kind of a more grayed down quietness to it. It's another real pop of a bright blue. Gorgeous rich dark brown. Kind of a sherbety orange. And this one's a real interesting color. I really like this. You can see, here we go. You can really see that kind of blushy texture now on this guy because it's got a couple different colors in it. As you know, we keep most of our blenders on the back wall, but this shadow blush you're actually going to find over on the color wall, just kind of mixed in to the regular colors there. So next up, we have another Christmas one. I'm waiting for when we get all the Halloween in. I'm talking a lot about Christmas, and y'all know I love me some Halloween. So we're waiting on those, but we got some good stuff coming. This one here, it's got little, oops, here we go. It's got like little campers and red trucks on it. I love the colors in this one, but what's neat here, and I probably have got the camera way too close as usual, but what's neat about this guy, this is called Camp Joy by Benartex, has an advent calendar. Oops, there we go. An advent calendar that comes with it here. So the instructions are at the bottom of the panel, and then it's got these little guys here you can use as blocks. You can add them to the advent calendar. You can make little ornaments. You can do whatever you want with those guys. We are expecting more of this line. They did get us these couple main pieces, but we did get some go-withs, but they're back ordered right now. So when they'll be coming in, but you'll know when we do. So look for that. There are more go-withs that go with that one. Likewise with this, we've got this beautiful poinsettia cardinals print here for Christmas. What's cool about this is it also came in wide backs, and we got the wide back. So look for that. And this also kind of came, oops, this kind of came with this, I don't know, bushy, piney business right here. We do have more pieces of this coming, but kind of like the other one, they're back ordered. We'll get them when we get them. So let's bring it a little bit more to the now, which this is totally appropriate when this came in. This has got strawberry jam. It's called Strawberry Jamboree. When we got this fabric in, I was literally, actually, elbow deep in making my own strawberry jam at home. So this was very, very timely. We've got these little strawberries here. I really like this one. These look like you could just pick them up and eat them. Just real pretty strawberry print. And then what I thought was kind of cool about this one is it comes with the strawberry blossoms. So it's got those nice little flowers on there, and that's real cute. A little bit earlier here, I showed you that color shot layer cake. We did get replenishment of the gray. This has been something we've had to restock several times at this point, but you can see that wonderful texture. So that is a really good blender as well, and that one is located on our blender wall. So this one, boy, I'm striking out here. When you come in and you look for these, you can just describe it and we'll know what you're talking about. This is on the color wall in our green section, kind of a geometric contemporary print here, and I really like this one. This is kind of a fun one as well. This goes, those are the same line, but I mean you could use them, you know, however you want, but this one's got a neat texture to it. So next up we have Under the Sun by Contempo. Oops, I got that upside down. Came with this beautiful floral. This one's a real fun one. I like that. Came with a basket weave in this bright pink. I like this kind of fluffy, I don't know, cotton ball tree looking business. I know there's a name for this, but I don't know it offhand. But I think this is just such a neat print, and that blue is just wonderful. I'll be grabbing some of that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I like it. And then if you like butterflies, this goes with it as well. It's a nice little butterfly print there too. Oh boy. Oh, this is a big one. All right. So we got this entire line from Benartex. Ooh, it's a big one. Like I said, it's a biggie. And as usual, I did not check for the name here. But this is all flannel. This is in our baby section, child baby section. But you could use, there's a lot of pieces in here that could be worked in into more contemporary traditional flannel quilts that have nothing to do with kids. And I'll show you some of those further down. But we got these cute little baby elephants. Here's a good one. Here's a good example. This is just kind of nice yellow and white flower. This could go with anything. Little diamond. Got ourselves a yellow dot. Oops, a little light blue dot there. I like these ones. These ones I think are neat. Oh, this is Snuggle in the Jungle. Snuggle in the Jungle. There we go. This kind of, I don't know, herringbone, feather, stripey thing. We got this in a few different colors, but I could see this in a lot of other quilts other than baby quilts. So, kind of use your imagination there. We got those We got those diamonds again. Another floral here in gray. These little stripy zebras are real cute. And we got them in blue here as well. Another little dot. Here we go. Here's the focus print on pink. I just love the little crocodiles, but you got all kinds of kind of neat jungle animals in there. Got ourselves the yellow little tigers. Here we go. Here's the stripe that goes with it. Be wild, be you. And it's got your little guys there. The tiger again in that blue. Got the elephant in the yellow. And this one, my mom and I both agree reminds us of my grandmother, her mother, who loved yellow and loved elephants. So if she were still with us right now, she'd be getting something out of that one. We've got our pink and white flowers. This is just a great gray basic flannel, the little diamonds. And in yellow. We got the whole line here, you guys. The whole thing. There's just a lot. We got that kind of herringbone again in the yellow. Another dot, kind of in a purpley pink. Herringbone in the gray. I wish these came on cotton. I love this print. But that doesn't mean that you can't throw flannel in with regular cottons. You can. It can be done. Do not be afraid. We got this guy here. Just like with anything else, when you mix fibers, there's just different considerations to make. Flannel does shrink at a different rate than cotton, but if you're pre-washing before you do your thing anyway, then you can mix your fibers, no problem. And even if you don't pre-wash, you can still mix your fibers, but just understand how they interact. There's no quilt police. No one's going to be rappelling from the ceiling, as far as I know, until you can't do it. So, just saying. We got some pink elephants there. Here we go. We're hitting the bottom of the stack, you guys, finally. Here's the kind of turquoisey one. Got a big old stack going here. Oh, I think this is the last one. Is it the last one? No, we're almost done. Almost done. Okay. So we did get a little bit of fall. It wasn't all about winter and Christmas just yet. This is from Benartex. Kind of this nice fall leaf business. I love this plaid. Plaids are big right now, so you're going to be seeing a lot of plaids in upcoming lines. Different colors, different scales, different sizes, but know that plaid is a thing. We decided to get this on cream this time. A lot of times we do our fall prints in black, but this cream is just really beautiful. Like I said, plaids are in. And we got the pumpkins. Fix that. We got this pumpkin print here. I love that it has little green pumpkins in there. I think that's kind of neat. Kind of different. We did, however, get the panel in black, and this is going to be a little tricky to show because somebody put the camera too close. This is why I need my handy dandy cameraman, but he's at work. Other work. But you get a few little blocks here at the top and at the bottom. And excuse me, this is called Autumn Elegance. Autumn Elegance. But then it's got this center panel, if I can, there we go. Center panel here that has the pumpkins and the flowers and the leaves. And you see your plaid kind of hanging out in there too. And the last thing, finally, the last thing is we did get a flannel wide back. Yes, 108 inches. Flannel, this kind of marbly texture. This might actually be Stonehenge, I'm not totally sure. I did not get the piece with the selvage. And I should have checked, but I didn't. But here we are, that's okay. We do what we can, right? So, reminder, since we're talking about wide backs, is backing day is every month on the last day of the month, unless the last day of the month falls on a Sunday when we are closed, then it is that preceding Saturday. We always advertise for this in our newsletter and on Facebook and our blog. So if you don't follow those three things, it is also up on a sign in the shop behind the counter on our little chalkboard, just as a silent little reminder. So the rules for backing day are you have to physically bring in your finished quilt tops. And when we say finished quilt tops, the borders must be sewn on completely, not pinned on, not yet to be sewn. They must be complete and they must be physically present for you to receive your 25% off discount. That applies to any fabric in the store, including wide backs, including clearance, including our regular 45-inch fabric. You can bring as many quilt tops as you want every month. That is up to you, but we always do this every month. So if you miss out this month in June, we'll be doing it again in July. So keep an eye to Facebook, newsletter, blog, sign in the store. So earlier I was talking a little bit about shipment and back orders. So we all know what happened in 2020, right? We don't need to go through all that again. We've lived it, right? However, shipping, we are starting to see it begin to normalize a little bit. That being said, like we're seeing with a couple of our lines, we are seeing back orders and things that are out of stock when we order. That doesn't mean we won't be getting them. It does not mean they won't replenish them. It just means that at the time the things come in, the items are back ordered. So you're going to start to see more partial orders coming through or delays to orders, but they're getting better than it was last year. As you recall, last summer, getting stuff was tricky. We're starting to see an improvement, so that's really good. The world is right again. Relatively speaking. Whatever right is, whatever normal is, right? It's all subjective. Anyway, second thing is Row by Row. If you remember Row by Row, it is now called Quilter's Trek. And we are in it again this year. The theme is a pop of color. And if you got our newsletter this week, then you got to see a sneak peek of what ours will look like. If you didn't, you'll want to just keep your eye to the Facebook page, and we will have that posted here shortly. We decided to do a little something different this year. Usually when we do our row by rows, our Quilter's Trek designs, we've always done the row and it's almost always been applique. This time we are going for the 2x2 18-inch square, and it is pieced this time around. So you'll see that. Kits, I believe, are going to be $20. As always, you get the full color pattern in with your kit, but the pattern will be available for free should you want that. If you do buy a kit, you already have your pattern, so you don't get the extra free pattern. However, that starts on June 21st. And for those that have participated before, you'll recall, and for those who haven't participated before, there is a challenge. So every time Row by Row comes up, there's a challenge for somebody who finishes, I think the requirement is 9. You can go online to the Quilter's Trek website and get the correct information, just in case I'm giving wrong numbers here, but the idea is the same. Finishing a quilt top with 9 or more of the rows from that year, the first one to turn it into a shop gets a prize. The challenge for that starts on July 5th. The Quilters Trek starts on June 21st, so here in just a couple weeks. So there is a gap between when Quilters Trek starts and when the challenge starts. So be thinking about that. You'll see ours again up on our Facebook page here soon. Another thing that's going on is the Oregon State Fair is officially official. If you haven't seen the posts on social media and on their website, they've already started scheduling their concerts there for the fair. This will be at the end of August into early September as usual. But what that means is now we are officially bugging you for your quilts. Mom is on one of the boards there for the state fair again to help with the quilt section, so you know that your quilts will be in good hands and well protected and nobody touching with their grimy fair fingers. We will be there with our white gloves, making sure that people want to see the quilts, that we're touching them and not them with their elephant ear fingers. So what does that mean? For those of you who have been with us a while, you know what this means. Mom is going to start bugging you for your quilts to submit to the Oregon State Fair. And I put in a couple quilts a few years ago, and it was a great experience, and it's really inspiring to see all those quilts here in our town go to the fair. We want people from other parts of the state to be putting their quilts in, so we're bugging far and wide. Bring your quilts to the fair, please. We want to have an even bigger quilt section than before. We want to take up that entire building. I think not last year, the year before, we had somewhere a little over 100 quilts. We want to beat that. So put in your quilts for the fair. If you've never submitted to the fair, this is a good year to do it. So please, quilts, send them in. Then we are also starting a new program in July. Sign-ups are open right now, and this is for our Secret Stash box. So what does that mean? For those of you who are familiar with the monthly subscription boxes that you see out in the world, things like BoxyCharm or the Ipsy bags or FabFitFun, there's a ton of Loot Crate, there's a ton of different ones. We're starting our own here at the Cotton Patch, and it's called our Secret Stash. So you get to choose your own adventure between solids, blenders, batiks, and prints. So you get to pick one of those 4 adventures. You can change this every quarter, but at least for 1 quarter, it will stay stable. And what you get for $30 every month, and that $30 includes shipping. So it is all inclusive, $30. You get a minimum of 4 curated fat quarters that follow that month's theme in whatever adventure you choose to pick. So again, blenders, solids, batiks, and prints. You will get a pattern and then some kind of little wild card item. It might be thread, it might be a notion, it might be more fabric, it might be something different. So every month that's what you'll be getting, and the value of the box exceeds what you have paid for it. So you can sign up now, you can come in, you can call us. Now I will say these subscription boxes will work just like our pay per month, block of the month programs, where we have your credit card on file, we charge it on the 15th of the month, and we send to you. This box is not available for pickup. So even if you happen to come in on the 15th of the month, it's not available for pickup. We need to make sure we're keeping these consistent so everybody's is the same. It keeps it nice and smooth for us, and it keeps it nice and smooth for you. We do provide the tracking number so that you can track it when it goes out and where it's at for delivery. You can sign up at any time. It is a 1-year subscription, and it is not auto-renewing, so you will be reminded in the last couple months of your subscription that it's coming due, and it will be up to you to let us know if you want to continue or not. We don't want to just leave hanging open subscriptions because that's kind of poopy. We don't want to do that. You can also change your adventure. So if you do batiks for 1 quarter, you can change it to prints. You can change it to solids for the next. Just let us know. You can also cancel at any time. So you're not stuck on that year. If something happens in 6 months and gosh, I really just need to, cut some costs and cancel the subscription, you can do that. That is absolutely okay. So one of the things that we've been asked is, hey, what if I get something I don't like? Or what if I don't like my box that month? Can I return it or exchange it? No, the answer is no. So that's part of the fun of doing a box like this, is getting fabrics you may not have picked on your own to try new things, right? And that does mean that there might be a month where, gosh, I really don't like that fat quarter, or I don't really need that thread, or I don't like that pattern. We have enough people doing this program that for us to make constant returns and exchanges on it is just, it's a lot for such a small shop to do. So if you don't like it, we encourage you to, gift it to somebody, or donate it to your local guild, give it to a friend, or I like Bonnie Hunter's thought on this is, even an ugly fabric can be pretty if you cut it down small enough. So put it in the scrap pile. There's a lot of different things you can do, but one of the real joys of this program is kind of branching out and trying something new. You can sign up at any time, but the first boxes will be going out in July. So let's keep that in mind. And I don't know what our theme will be yet, but we'll come up with something cool, I promise. So along with that, today is the first day of our new block of the week. So for those of you that participated, we just did a 24-week long block of the week. At the end, it makes about a twin size quilt. This one is a little bit different. So you've got two options, and it's up to you. There's no sign up. It works exactly the same. Come into the shop on every Saturday starting today to get your block. The cost for the block is one pre-cut regular priced fat quarter. So if it's already pre-cut out on the shelf, you get your free pattern. You do need background. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. So Mom and I are going to be showing both options. So to start off, this is the layout for option 1, the country picnic option. And this takes, I should have memorized this, but I didn't. A yard and a half of background. So the reason why these squares are gray is because these are the representative of the blocks that you'll be doing throughout the next few weeks. So this is her layout. And she is doing hers in red, white, and blue. And this is the first block. And this is available. There's thread. This is available starting today. And it's just an easy peasy pinwheel block. All of the blocks are 12.5 inches raw, 12 inches finished. And so you'll see hers there. But they did offer a second layout here. And that's this guy, the back porch one. And so that's the one I'm doing. And that one is on point. It's set up a little bit differently. That one does take 3 yards of background. And don't worry if you don't remember this right now. We have them in the store. We'll be happy to help you out. I am doing mine in desert colors. It's really outside of my comfort zone. So it was a good challenge. And here's mine. And all of mine will have this batik as the background. And it's also a good way to illustrate too that you can mix batiks with regular cottons and it is totally fine. My background here is a batik, but here's that art gallery that I showed earlier. And then here's that speckle from Moda right in here. That's a blender. Remember which one? Might be Canvas by Northcott. And then another batik. So don't be afraid to mix it up. You can. Like I said, no one's going to rappel from the ceiling. I hope. It hasn't happened yet, so I feel pretty safe. So lastly, if you are doing the Star Cycle block of the month, this month we're keeping it simple. And we're going to have you do your chain blocks this month. So your chain blocks are these guys here. This one here. Not ignore the pieces with the taupe in it, not this guy. But this one right here behind me. Just an easy peasy 4-patch with a couple other guys in here. Nothing you haven't done before. You've done this. So the instructions, I want to say you make 12. It'll say in your instructions, I promise. But here's mine. I'm just a reminder, I'm doing low volume. And so here's mine. It's kind of got some shiny silver. Fun story, or at least I think it's fun. This blueprint was given to me by Mom. This fabric is easily as old as I am. Easily. I remember it being in her stash when I was a kid. So use up those old fabrics. This is a great way to do it. So I know that was a lot. We're at the 40-minute mark. Oh my God. But we had a lot this month. So if you have not followed us on Facebook already, we are Keizer Cotton Patch there on Facebook. As a reminder, you do not have to have your own Facebook page to access our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is a public business page. If you do not have your own Facebook account, the only thing that you won't be able to do is comment on our pictures. But otherwise, all the information that people with Facebook can see, you will be able to see too. Our newsletter comes out every week. If you are not part of our newsletter, this is where we tell you about everything that's upcoming and new. You can sign up in store, or you can go to our website, www.cottonpatchoregon.com, and up in the top menu, you'll see an option for newsletter, and you can sign up that way as well. Note about the newsletter is if you've signed up and you're not seeing your emails come through on Thursday, Friday, look in your spam filter, because we send to enough people that some email providers go, oop, it's over 1,000 people. It's spam. So check your spam filter. 9 times out of 10, that's what's happened. It's gone in there. So you'll just mark it as not spam, and then you should see it in your inbox coming through yet again. We also have our blog, which is keizercottonpatch.blogspot.com. It's updated every week, every 2 weeks. We are just wrapping up our series on color theory, and we'll be moving into the design and art principles of art. So look for that coming, and we have a lot of different news that we put up on the blog as well. I think I've covered just about everything. Thanks for sticking it out with me here these last 40 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and hopefully we will be seeing you in the store soon. Thanks so much for joining me.